Spiritual Psychics TV is hosting the first annual recognition of achievements, acknowledging those who dedicate their lives to a spiritual act of kindness. Spiritual Psychics TV, bringing spiritual people together.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our divine service to both here, the physical congregation, and you in virtual world. I hope you have a wonderful morning with us. Our medium this morning is Reverend Rose Anderson. Rose is here with us. She'll be up here in a moment to do the prayer.
Thank you, yes.
So, my friends, it's great. Please take note of that advert we had at the very beginning about Spiritual Psychics TV, about the recognition awards. I'm very proud to say I've been nominated for something. I think it's the best red person out of the whole thing. That's a joke. Lifetime Achievement Award. So that worries me. Does it mean my lifetime is over? But I'm very grateful for that nomination. Friends, let's start our service by opening it with prayer. You have to come over anyway.
Sorry, that's all right.
I can just put the camera down.
No, you're all right. Honestly, I can see me little head. That's it. Let us pray. Divine Spirit, Father God, as we gather here together in the church and in your own homes, we ask that your love and blessing come down amongst all of us that are watching and listening here today. We ask that each and every one of us is filled with love and the love of the Spirit, and that the angelic light flows from us, and that each takes something really good home from this morning. I ask that as your medium, I am filled with love and light and healing and upliftment. And as I receive, I give, and as I give, I receive back. And now, as always, we leave this service in your care and keeping, knowing that all will be well. Amen.
Friends, just keeping that prayerful thought, let us unite in prayer for our loved ones, family and friends, that we join together in prayer, seeking the light and the countenance of healing for mind, body and spirit, for those names that we know within our hearts and our minds, and for all those in healing books around this country and around the world. But especially this morning, we think of Tony, Mark and Eileen, Stephen and Kelly, Joanne, Iris, Brenda and her family, Mick, Pam, Ashanti, Kim, Marion, Robert, Russell, who's my cousin, whose chemo has had to stop and his cancer's progressed quite badly. His mother, Dina, my aunt, who has got dementia and is in a home. Martin, Melanie, Jackie, Jill and Amber, and Mumtaz. May the power of the Spirit manifest into their hearts and their minds and strengthen them and heal them of mind, body and spirit. So mote it be. Now let us say together the Serenity Prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thank you, friends. We now come to that part of the service where I asked George here in the church to go around with the offertory. And those of you who last week online donated to the church, I'm really grateful. And those who have got direct debits with the church, I thank you all very much for doing so. And I'm not sure if Terry's going to put a few more adverts on while this is happening. Will there be a few names on screen we can say hello to for this morning? Good morning, Olivia. Welcome to our church. Hope you have a lovely morning. Lily, good morning. I hope you have a lovely day. Christine, hello. Nice to see your name up again. Lorna, I think we know you. Lorna, how are you and the family? Hope you're all well. Owen, our church organist. Good morning, Owen. How are you? Corrie Dutton, hello. Good morning. Wendy, hello. Nice to see you. Sheena Lightheart, good morning. Hope you have a lovely day with us. Karen, hello. How are you? Christine Morales, hello Christine. It's nice to see your name up there again. Slater Paul, Liz, good morning to you. From Dagenham, got friends living out that way. Dion Bowman, hello. I think we have one more. Sue, good morning and welcome to Wimbledon Church. Hope you have a lovely morning with us. Sorry if my eyes weren't very good this morning reading, but my macular degeneration is not getting any better at the moment, and I've got a touch of blurred vision this morning, so probably the gin and tonic I had in the water this morning. So friends, I'll ask Jim now to come up and do the reading for us. Jim Blythe.
Doing a reading from the Silver Birch Companion. Why do we come back for you? Our work is concerned with the millions who, if they had this knowledge in your world, would not come to us as derelicts, wrecks, almost unfitted for life of the spirit. They are filled with the ignorance of fear, superstition, and prejudice. Our task is to break down all the forces which make for darkness in human life. I never call it spiritualism. I speak of the natural law. I never say Father God. I speak of the Great Spirit. I see a law. I see purpose. You have to grow in spiritual stature, and if you would accomplish at least part of that task in your earthly life, then you will be prepared and equipped for the fuller life, which is great, inevitable destiny.
Thank you, Jim. Well, friends, I'm going to be doing the address this morning, and I chose this reading very quickly, only a few moments ago. But we, as spiritualists, be it National, Christian, United, whatever spiritualists we are spiritualists, and we need to practice our religion day in and day out, not just on a Sunday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday, whatever we do. We've got to keep it in season, as St. Paul once said in his gospel. We as spiritualists have a knowledge of continuing life. Now, it'd be fair to say all other religions have that knowledge, but we as spiritualists and within spiritualism attempt to prove that through mediumship and communication. I was talking to someone the other day, and they're coming into spiritualism, not quite there yet, and they want to be able to not necessarily come to a church or go and see a medium, they just want to be able to feel their loved one with them. And I said, well, you just think of them, like to look at a candle, light a candle, look at a picture frame of your loved one, like put some flowers there, whatever. But as soon as you think of that person, you sense that presence. And I know that from a fact. When I was indoors the other day, we were doing some tidying up and clearing up, as we're trying to do for one reason or another at home. And I sensed my mum around me. And before I said anything, my daughter Rachel said, oh, I can smell Nanny Hazel's perfume. And we keep finding things within the home that have suddenly appeared because we've been moving things around. And it's like where some people say, oh, I know a loved one was close, they've seen a robin or they get some feathers. That's all part of it. But we've got to believe that there is a continuing life. People have often commented to me, especially when Dad passed. Dad had been a spiritualist for over nearly 30 years, I think he'd been, 1969, and he passed about 7 years ago. He came into spiritualism. And people said to me, you're not too upset. I said, I physically miss Dad's presence where I could sit down in a chair and talk to him or phone him or whatever. But I know where my dad is. And I did used to say, for the first time in my life, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year, and 24 hours of the day, I know where my dad is everywhere now, and he's close, and he comes close when I need the guidance and the loved ones. My brother Mark has been sensing spirit around him, and I know people here have been sensing their loved ones around them. And we must put what we believe into action. I'm not saying do not cry, do not have tears if someone passes to the spirit. I'm not saying that, and I wouldn't say that. But we have to understand that we're on a journey in this life. We're on a journey with a purpose. And part of that journey is living what we encounter upon the world. And there's so much judgmental comments made about things in this world of today. And judgmental things are said to people I know or their family and their kids, and how that affects the environment around them and the emotional aspect that affects. He who is without being perfect, put their hand up. We are all human, spiritual, living in a living body, but we are imperfect beings because we make errors. We have different physical ailments. I can remember when I didn't get a pain in my leg or my shoulder. I know Rose will say the same on my Jackie, and probably 3/4 of the congregation here this morning. Because as we get older, our bodies weaken. I'm only 63, but I've got age-related macular degeneration, where I've been told it's normally happens in your 70s. But it's how we live with those things we've got, how we live with the people around us. I'm dyslexic, and I've never hid the fact from anyone. And we have a couple here at our church who are both born blind. And as somebody at social services once said to them, could you describe how blind you are? They're blind. And the situation is that I've been encouraged with my dyslexia and learning ability by Stephen and Kelly because they achieved so much in their own lives. And even when they were under attack with a neighbour by saying that they weren't blind, they're faking it just to get social housing and supposed to get this and get that because this person was jealous. We've got to stop judging situations where we don't know. I noticed people saying in the supermarket the other day, do they really need to wear that sunflower lanyard, are they really disabled? My opinion, and my true opinion, is it doesn't matter. It's how we are living our lives as individuals, trying to do the best, trying to be who we are. I have no doubts at all in continuing life. I have no doubts at all that mediumship, through the power of the Spirit, can manifest that life after death. Silver Birch, in his book, teaches us constantly the message from the loved ones. In a way, there is no God, as Silver Birch said. It's divine spirit, great white spirit, whatever word you want to use. My wife and my son often use the word Father, Mother, God. I quite often use the word divine. It's what is meant behind that. I had somebody once phone me years ago. They felt they had a negative energy in their house, and they said, it's got to be evil. I said, why is that? Because I grabbed my cross and I said, go away and leave me alone. I said, are you a practicing Christian? Oh, no, but Jesus is supposed to protect you. I said, only if you believe that. Jesus is there for everybody. Muhammad's there for everyone. Christian's there for everyone. But if you don't believe in them, their energy, that guidance won't really inspire you. I believe in the teachings that Jesus has manifested upon this earth. But I also believe many other world leaders have inspired generations of people with that message that they have for the world. And it's owning up to what we believe. It's owning up to what we are. There's a wonderful medium called Gordon Higginson, former president of the Spiritualist National Unit. And I remember him standing here on this platform at Wimbledon once saying, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back next year. Derek Robinson's just booked me, but there's no guarantee I'll be here. And if I do be here, there's no guarantee my mediumship will work, because there's no guarantees with anything. Because within reason, every aspect of spiritualism is an experiment. We can't promise. And if with mediums start promising they can communicate with A, B, C, there's something to be slightly anxious about. The manifestation of spirit within your lives is what generates us to move throughout the day, throughout the working hour or retired hour if you're retired. And I used to be retired, but since I retired, I'm not retired. The aspect of our lives, the aspect of our spiritualism is to prove that life after death. And also by our actions we do within ourselves, how we conduct ourselves. That doesn't mean you've got to be a saint. Doesn't mean you've got to be perfect. Jackie and I were reading and listening about a saint yesterday on telly from the 6th century, I think it was. And he decided he got the message of God, and he went and built a little chapel somewhere on the fens in Cambridgeshire. And he decided the only way to live with God was to build himself and isolate himself from everyone. Now, I don't see that as being true. But I do believe sometimes we need to isolate ourselves from the negative energies of around us. And also in the same breath, if it does help you to isolate yourself from the rest of the world and talk to God, that's also wonderful and great. My mentor, Bill Murray, used to go up on Wimbledon Common and talk to what he called the governor. I sometimes like to be near water to meditate. And when I was quite ill a few years ago, my Ashley took me to a river in Surrey, and I sat by the stream for a number of hours and felt totally rejuvenated with it. I've often said, and somebody who likes sci-fi, that I wish I could be a Time Lord and just regenerate, because my body would feel better. But it's learning to live with what we've got, learning to accept what we've got. Because sometimes you won't want to get up and go out. Sometimes I listen to people talk and criticizing others. I used to get that when I worked in my job, that you walk into the office and a group of ladies, gentlemen will be talking about someone and being talking about someone, and then that person will come in, hello, how are you? I've missed you. And you have to be honest. Someone said to me the other week, you spelt something wrong. I said, yeah, probably did. I'm dyslexic and I don't spell. And people said, well, nothing stopped you from learning. Have you thought of reading a dictionary? Excuse me, I'm dyslexic. So if I saw the right word, doesn't necessarily mean I'd read the right word. There's a couple of words I have to keep asking Jackie if I've spelt right and correctly, because it's interesting and discovering this again, listening to Ethan read. And he can read some great things now. And they've done what I hope they would do. They found something he's interested in his life, and he's learning to read with these books. But it's how we discover our spiritualism, and we have to discover it through sitting in circle or class. And we then have to listen to the teacher, the lecturer, circle leader, whatever word we want to use. The words have changed since I first came into spiritualism, which is over 50 years ago. And that's fine. That is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. But I still use the old words. I'm not embarrassed to say spirit world. I really am not. Ivan, Ashley, and a few others say heaven. I'm not bothered by that either. It's what works for you individually, what works for you out there in the virtual world. What we're all unified in and unified by, that there is no death, and that a greater power than ours manifests that truth through mediumship, through healing, through listening, talking, sharing. But Jesus, the teacher, master, once said that he who's without sin cast the first stone. And that's not saying in a righteous way, that's saying we've all got something to learn. We've all got something to put into practice. I know I'm not perfect. The only perfect person I ever knew was my father. And I'm serious. He thought he was totally perfect in everything he said and done. But nobody can, and those of you who knew Dad, you knew that. But nobody can be that perfect upon this earth, because we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here learning. I believe people walk with us and share with us before coming to this earth, but they're not necessarily guides or helpers, because like all things, they like listening in to what we're doing and what we're saying. Somebody said to me a few weeks ago, "Oh, I've been doing some naughty things. Are they watching me? Are they watching me do these naughty things?" I went, "No." She went, "Oh, thank you." And she fanned herself like that. She said, "Because I've done some really naughty things lately." I said, "It doesn't work like that. It really doesn't." I so much wanted to ask what these naughty things were, but my mother would have, but I'm not like that. They don't share. Someone said to me the other day, telling me off about somebody, nothing to do with spiritualism, and "Do you want to know what they've done wrong?" I said, "No, I don't." Because it doesn't matter to me at this moment in time. And if, to use a phrase from one of my favourite programs, their sins will find them out. Their wrongs, their mistakes, their errors, the problems they have caused, they will find them out one day. If they are errors, yeah, exactly. Because somebody once said to my dad, he said, "You're a terrible sinner." And Dad said to him, "Define sin." They mentioned this word, that word, and Dad said, "Oh, I'm all right, I'm 3 of them. 2 of them I'm not so sure about. And 1 of them I've definitely sinned." And that's in the end what matters. It's how we see things. People have often told me...
I do apologise for interrupting. Would you be able, it's Alison by the way, would you be able to bring your screen down slightly?
Yeah, okay.
I do apologise for interrupting as people can't see you. Thank you.
I thought it was a sign to say, "Shut up, Ray."
Thank you.
It's a sign, it's a sign. We have to practice our spiritualism. We have to be strong with our spiritualism. Also, for me, as an individual, I have to acknowledge that spiritualism is changing. Hopefully evolving, but changing. And I go back to the days where people belong to the Great White Brotherhood, and I'm not saying it doesn't exist. And I go back to the stage where my Indian guide's better than yours because mine's got a 4-head bonnet and you've only got 1 or something. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Somebody once said to me, "Oh, your Indian guide's not a very nice guide." I said, "No, he's the one that killed my other guide." I said, "What's that?" I said, "General Custer." They took it serious, I didn't. In these truths, I find to be self-evident. There is a creator, sustainer of the universe, unseen but ever present, and manifest now in this church and in your homes and in the whole of creation. And there is life after death. I don't query it, I know it. And we have to believe it. And I'm not saying you shouldn't receive messages or shouldn't go to seek messages, because that is always, I call it the icing on the cake. If you sit here and get a message from the spirit world or a loved one from the realms of spirit, I know I like it. I know we all do. And I know some people in this church like it more than others. But all jokes aside, friends, let go and let God take over your life. Let God manifest himself in your hearts and your minds and everything you do. Not just when you come to church on a Sunday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, but in your lives. Enjoy your journey that you are upon. It's unique to you. Your journey is not my journey. And everybody else here at Wimbledon Church, I'm not involved in their journey other than I travel with them sometimes. And when our journey end comes, we travel to a better world, a brighter world, free of pain, sorrow, and suffering. A world where we find out more the mysteries than we ever would have liked to have asked. There's so many questions I want to ask about the spirit world. But there's a great thing that's said in the old Catholic funeral mass, that the mysteries of heaven become known to us when we die. And I think there's some truth in that, because we understand the greater purpose of our life. And Jackie and I have been very aware how words have hurt us recently. And they're not necessarily directly to be malice, but they have hurt and they've driven pain. And it's also a point of saying, let's get on, let's move along. Life is a wonderful journey. And we're either traveling by walking, being on a boat, being in a plane. But we are traveling that journey. I have anxieties about my family and friends around me at the moment that are very poorly, but I know in the end that according to divine law, healing will be administered. It doesn't necessarily mean the healing I want, but healing will be administered. I had a phone call late last night. Somebody I know was rushed into hospital because they'd fallen over and injured themselves and cut their and bruised their hand. And I'm sorry, but I gave it back to God. Because back to God in the spirit world, they will deal with it. And then I will then deal with the next thing that comes along in my life. Let go, let God manifest within your being and go out to the church, bringing the message of healing by the power of the Spirit, that our loved ones have not left us alone, that we are spirit here and now, enjoying this life. Friends, good morning and God bless you.
Hello.
Terry, you owe me a fiver.
On the spirit.
Someone left their phone on and I put my hand up to that and mine just pinged. Right, friends, we're now coming to the part of the service where Rose will demonstrate the gifts of the Spirit. Just give us a few moments to jig the camera around and do that. I feel more like Laura and Hardy today.
Yeah, I was going to say Laura and Hardy, yeah.
But, my friends, just bear with us. And remember, if you're speaking from virtual world, there's a 20-second delay. So if Rose says, I've got a man here with a wooden leg and a parrot on the shoulder, you know that person, please say that. Please say that. But please be clear what you're saying yes or no to. For those in the church, you know. Answer clearly. Oh, it's going to be one of those mornings. Bear with me a moment, friends. I'm just going to adjust. Please, Alison, let me know if the camera's not right.
I'm only a shorty, you see. Are you there?
A bit more.
Hello.
No, Ashley broke it. I just keep breaking it.
Should I stand? Would that be better? Oh,
We had it working just now, didn't we?
we did. But we moved it again.
How's that?
Yeah, I'll stand for as long as I can because my little legs ain't that good. That's why.
Should have said to the virtual, ladies and gentlemen, Reverend Rose Anderson.
Thank you, Ray. My friend and my mentor.
Cool mentor.
Well, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's it. Well, I'm not sure who's the bigger tormentor, me or him, but there you go. I'm not even going to look at that picture because it's horrible. But I am getting somebody. I sat here thinking, well, is there anybody there? You know, any of you that work as mediums will know that sometimes in that moment before you start working, it's completely empty. And I know because I do teach, that, you know, the guides tell us, you know, it's where we become empty. It's where we empty ourselves of our everyday things. But it's still a bit nerve-wracking nonetheless. You know, you like to feel that you've got a man with a wooden leg and a parrot or whatever. but I haven't. But I do have a gentleman here with me, suddenly stepped in and said, stop gassing, get on with it. This man doesn't have a wooden leg and a parrot, but I do feel he was in the Navy. He's standing very tall, very, very straight. He was quite a nice looking man, and I don't feel he made old bones. He wasn't a young man, but I would have said 40s, 50s, something like that. He still had that sort of, you know, that vigour of life with him. I'm not sure where I am. I'm not sure if I'm online, because normally I know if I'm here or not. I'm getting two names. I'm getting the name Robert or Bob, and I'm getting the name John. Can anyone here take this? Right. Oh.
A couple of people over there.
Yeah, I can see a hand there, and I can see a hand there. And was there anyone else? Any other takers? No, that's okay.
Oh,
I don't.
as well.
And yeah, that's what I said.
And there's the lady in blue.
The lady
at back.
I do know the lady in blue, and I always forget her name. Linda. And I cannot, because it's my sister's name, and I say that to you every time, don't I? Right, okay. He's standing here, and he's very, very smart, and I do feel his naval career, he almost looks like he's got an officer's uniform on. It could be a dress uniform, but it looks more than your sort of able seaman. So he could have been a petty officer, but definitely he looks very, very smart in his uniform. And I get the feeling that his naval life would have been very important to him at one point. Either of you ladies take that?
Can't take the naval.
Well, that's what I just said. I said he was in the Navy.
I take the names.
Right. Okay. But the first thing I did say was this man was in the Navy, because it's a Navy. I don't recognise many uniforms, but I can see that this is a naval uniform. Okay, so anyone online can understand that? Obviously not, because I'm not getting anything.
I just remember Robert, you know, the medium.
Robert Wood.
Robert Wood. And Steve can, I think, take someone in the Navy.
Okay. I knew Robert Wood. I don't.
His old age.
Yeah. Well, I thought this man died in his 50s, 40s or 50s. But then
my granddad, John.
Right.
Haley, I think something.
Right, okay. Kaylee, can you listen to me? Can you girls listen as well? I know you said you can't take the uniform, but Tina, you can.
I can take the uniform.
And the names? Yeah, okay. Well, I've also got the name of Robert. Now, I don't know whether they go together or whether it's two separate people, but definitely I felt they were connected to this man in the uniform. As I link with him, I mean, I've got aches and pains, and I do feel as if he would have had possibly problems with his back. It's making me want to stand very, very straight. You know, obviously, if you've had a military career, then, you know, it's force of habit, isn't it? You are very smart in your way. And I do feel this was more than national service or, you know, just wartime service. This meant something to him at one point. And I feel that at the moment, it's like somebody is having to sit up, gird their loins, as they say, and get on with it. I don't really want to. It's like I could run and hide in a hole. I've got to face things. I've got to do things. It's not, when I say face things, I don't mean that you've done anything wrong necessarily, but your dad is Robert and still living. Then, right, okay, Kaylee, then if your dad is still living, is he going through quite a tough time at the moment? Can't take age. No. See, if your dad is still living, is it, you know, you don't feel right. This man's in spirit. This man is definitely in spirit. Okay. Right. He tells me that somebody is going through, and it may be a family member. So whoever this man is connected to, I don't know if he's part of your family or just someone you could take. Somebody is going through quite a tough time at the moment. Yeah. Okay, because it's like, oh, I bet, you know when you've got I feel as if I've got paperwork, I've got things I've got to deal with, and I just don't want to deal with it. I feel as if I could run off and hide somewhere. I don't know where to start. I don't know how to start. I don't know whether they could get someone to help them, but it's almost like he's, and I'm saying her, so it's a lady. Whoever it is I feel it's like that he's giving them strength. He's giving them inner strength to cope with what they've got to cope with. Something's happened recently. It's like something's happened that's shook the family's world.
I can take a lot of that, I have to be honest.
Right, okay. Sorry, not for me. That's all right, darling, don't worry. Well, can I just say that, oh, thank you. Okay. If a lot of that is correct, what is not right? What can you not understand?
The age. He's a bit older than the...
Right. Would he have looked good for his age? Because that's what I am seeing with him.
Yeah, he would have.
I know you had a friend, John, but it's not him.
No.
It's somebody I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at this man, and he doesn't look more than in his 50s. So I suggest that he would have looked young for his age. And he was also still quite, I want to say, vigorous. You know, maybe the last part of his life he would have gone downhill a little bit, but for the most part he still had that fire.
Right.
That's how I'm feeling with him. And it's like he wants to give this to, especially to somebody in the family that's having to cope with dealing with everything at the moment. Okay? And there's been a loss recently. I don't know, because I don't know who his family is. Just yes, no, don't understand, because what he's telling me is this loss has thrown them. All right, and he's just saying that they can't get their heads around everything at the moment, but maybe they never will. You know, time is a big healer. And maybe they'll never get the answers that they want. But the thing is that there's things they have to deal with at the moment. And sometimes, yes, you just have to get on with things. But it's not also wrong to ask for help. Ask the divine for help, that the right help comes. So if it's paperwork or official things or legal things that they have to deal with, that they've got someone that can deal with that. Okay. I also I feel that there's somebody on the earth plane that is either like me, has got arthritis, or is suffering with their joints or their back, because I feel like my joints are all hurting, and it's not me. I feel it's somebody in spirit. Somebody that is here. That this man would have had joint pains, I know that, but he's talking about someone else here that has them. Okay, so they're in a lot of discomfort, a lot of pain at the moment, because he's saying just send them a thought. They need a thought. I'm going to leave it there, Tina. All right. Before I do, I don't. Obviously, I never knew your mum, but I feel this is your mum, because that's what she tells me. Now, she's bringing me the most beautiful feeling. She looked very different in her later years. As she comes as a very young woman. Now, I know she wasn't, from what you've told me, she wasn't young.
57 when she
Yeah,
was.
okay, but she wasn't, she's in her 20s.
Yeah.
And I feel the difference in those 30 odd years. I don't know whether that's because of having a family or whatever, but she looked so different. And I think that those 57 years, she said, weighed heavy on her. She was different. You would have thought she was older.
Yeah, she'd 17 children.
Right, oh, well, fair enough then. No wonder she looked tired. can I just say that, you know, she comes now as a young woman, and I feel when she was a young woman, she was beautiful.
She was.
Absolutely. I don't know if you found a photo or somebody's found a photo of her she looks about 17, and it's like, oh God, I've never seen that photo before.
We have a photograph.
Right, okay, because I don't know this. I have to say, Tina is my neighbour, but I do not know any of this. I promise you, because you know I won't do that. But what she's saying is that, you know, she's back to how she was, and I feel that she liked even a little bit of glamour when she was younger. She said, you know, you didn't make it up. She said you got it in the genes. She said, you know, like I liked a little bit of, you know, powder and puff, and not too much. Yeah. She said, but just enough. She said, I like to just gild the lily. Oh, that's an old expression, isn't it? She said, you know, like now and again. She said, not too much. She said, because, you know, they were stricter in those days, and it's like, have you got makeup on your face? No, Dad. You know, or Dar. That's what she said. She said, no, you know, but she did like a little bit. But she's just said, do you know what? You've got some lovely news coming your way. She said, I know you're looking for a move, and she said you'll get that move this year, the right place at the right time. It's going to be a time of synchronicity, and if you don't know what that means, look it up. Everything coming together at the right time. So it'll be you moving at the right time as other changes are happening in your life. Everything is you know, like coming at the right time. And I sound like I do sound like the old lady at the pier, on the end of the pier, and I'm not meaning to, but I am giving you what she's giving you. She said you need, even though, you know, you put on a brave face, she said you need a little bit of uplifting. Okay, right. And don't worry about your daughter. I don't know which one she's talking about, but one of them's on your mind today.
Yeah.
Okay. She said, don't worry about them. Okay.
Thank you.
Right, let me get back. I'm going to have to sit down. Okay. Sorry, my poor little legs can't cope. Can you see me? Oh, that's better. Actually, look better. Right. Okie doke. I have a lady with me. I feel as if there's been a passing not too long ago. I want to say over the last 2 or 3 months. This lady's coming and she's making me very, very confused. I feel as if my brain is all full of cotton wool. It would be very easy to say she had dementia, but I'm not sure that was it. It may have been that she was on some form of medication or she'd had a stroke, but definitely she was very, very confused in the last part of her life, because I can see her, it's like she's wandering aimlessly and she doesn't quite know where she is. I feel she must have died quite suddenly or unexpectedly. Even though she had been poorly already, I think that she was taken to spirit, maybe in her sleep. She might have fallen asleep and gone, you know, but she's saying you're not to worry about it, you're not to worry about it. And I feel I could be talking to a daughter or a granddaughter here. Can anyone take this? Oh, hello.
2 people at the back there.
Right, okay. Anybody online? No? Yeah, all right, well, I'm going to carry on anyway. Right, 2 ladies at the back. What's your names?
Suki.
Vicky and Suki.
And Mumtaz in front.
And Mumtaz. Oh, Suki, do I know you, Suki? Oh, yeah. It's the name I recognise. Long time ago. Right, okay. Oh, she definitely hasn't been gone long, this lady.
18 months.
Yeah, well, I thought it was a bit sooner than that.
No. Oh, April 2020. Yes, April 20.
Oh, that's nearly 2 years.
Yeah.
What about you, Montez?
One is a bit longer than that.
Right, okay. See, I thought it was a bit sooner than that. If it's that long, then can I say then that it doesn't feel like it's been that long. It's as if everything's been held up. It may have been that everything had been held up to do with maybe, you know, her funeral. I don't know, there might have had to have been a post-mortem, but whatever it is it seems like it's only been gone a couple of months or a few months. Pardon?
I think the world feels like that.
Yeah, that is very, very true. But I'm relating that to this lady, and it may be that because of everything that's been going on, someone else. Right? Okay, I've got a lady online. Somebody else. I've forgotten what I was going to say. I'm getting confused now. It may be that you know, that it is because of that, you know, but definitely yes, I can take this definitely. There's a lady on here, so I'm going to link with a pair of you. Yeah, Sharon Thomas. I just had her funeral. I felt it was very recent, I've got to be honest. Right, I don't feel it was dementia though. I've got to be truthful, Sharon. I'm not getting that feeling. Whatever caused her confusion, it wasn't long. She hadn't had dementia for a long time or anything like that. So it was like it was a relatively recent thing, or it had only been a recent thing that she'd had this confusion. And I feel it's like I can't get my words out as well. That's what made me feel it may be medication, or she might have had a stroke, because no, thank you. Because I'm feeling that there's things I want to say, and I can't get the words out. I'm telling you things, I'm saying things, but different words are coming out. It's like, what do they call it? You know, not ataxia, but when you can't. Oh, anyway, whatever. I just feel that she got frustrated with herself. And she did not like being the way she was. She was aware that her faculties weren't working properly. Yeah, okay, thank you. This does feel right, I've got to say. And she's just said that, you know, there's a reason for everything. She would not have liked to have lived and carried on. She would not like to have lived and carried on the way she was, because I feel she might not have had a great education. I think she had a normal education, but she was as sharp as a pin. You know, you couldn't get one over on her. She knew how many beans made five, as they say. And I feel she was a right giggler. I feel a lovely sense of humour, naughty sense of humour as well. You know, I feel that sometimes, you know, she didn't seem like an old lady, and inside she wasn't an old lady. Inside she was a young lady. Thank you, Sharon. Because I just want to say that don't wish her back. You know, miss her, of course you should. And the laughs you used to have. If this is your grandmother, then you had a lovely relationship with her, because I can see a pair of you giggling over something naughty. And I want to say that she's still going to be there. When you see things and you think, oh, that would have made her laugh, you know, like laugh, you know, remember, because she'll be there with you. There's also a little dog that's here in spirit. I don't know if that's also recently gone, but there is a small dog, and you know, like we're all animal lovers here, and you know, we know that they're part of our family. We love them, you know, just as much, sometimes more than the family. But she's just saying that this dog also is great. Miss, that was your mum, bless you, darling. Well, you had a lovely relationship with her. Right, okay. And she did enjoy a naughty joke, I know that. And she was a great social lady when she was younger. She loved nothing more than you know, the family getting together. I don't know whether they went somewhere like the pub or the social club or whatever, or just at the house. But she loved that a social element to life. Yeah, thank you. And she's got the dog here with her, and she's also telling me that it's been a terrible year for you of sorrow. Now, we know the whole world has had a year, 2 years almost of sorrow, but I get the feeling that that there'd been more than one loss. There'd been something else. I don't know if somebody had had a miscarriage or she talked to anyone. Oh, bless her. That's probably why she's talking to me. Can I just say that I don't know whether there's something to do with the baby, as if somebody wanted a baby or wants a baby, and there's a bit of sorrow around it, because she's saying, don't you worry. She said, I've got more clout up here than I had down there. So I don't know where that is relative to, but I know it's relevant to the fact of somebody in the family, someone she would have been close to, and you would know this. Yeah, okay. We ain't picked your dad up, darling. Please don't feed me. I'm fed enough. I don't need feeding. I was going to be rude and say, do I sound like I need your help? But I do. I always need help. But no, darling. The idea is I tell you. Right. You've mentioned your dad. And she's just said, oh no, he was here waiting for her. Okay, he was here waiting for her. Okay, you can, if wow is amazing, this is amazing, means you can understand about the baby. Just got excited, Lau. Oh, bless you, darling. We know it, because I tell you, mediums make the worst sitters when we're having a message. We're all the same. We all get excited, don't we, Ray?
We do.
And get carried away. Can I just say that she is around you, and I feel that this lady's light was so bright. I don't know whether she understood about spiritualism or had a belief, but it was like her light was so bright, and she was there. They carried her off like ever so quickly, and I feel she came back almost immediately, like to let you know. And I can smell roses. I can smell these gorgeous roses. So I feel her funeral there. I don't know whether that she would have had a wreath or a cross or something, but I can just see these red roses everywhere. And I feel that they would have been one of her favourite flowers. But the scent of them is amazing. And she said it was exactly as she would have wanted. I don't know if there was a little bit of, I know that funerals have been quite difficult over the last, recent times, but she's just said what she had, what you did, it was exactly what she would have wanted. Okay. Oh, bless you, darling. Well, she knows, obviously, she's there. Can I just say, take her love, and please, oh, it was a beautiful funeral. She said it was lovely. It was exactly what she wanted. No, there was no morbidness, no, doom and gloom. I'm not saying it was actually a spiritualist funeral, but I feel it definitely was a time of not joy. Joy's not the right word, but upliftment. And she was there watching it, so she was quite pleased. Can I just say that before I go, she said, them shoes what hurt you, that's me, not her. She wasn't quite as common as that. Those shoes that hurt you, she's saying, chuck them out and buy yourself and treat yourself to a new pair, because you've got a pair of shoes that you really, really like, but they pinch. And I don't know if they're a little bit too small or a little bit too narrow. Right. Oh, bless you. Yeah, the old rugged cross always gets me and all. Can I just say that, she's just saying something about your shoes. So you need to get them sorted, because I don't know if they're giving you blisters or whatever. She says, no, I'm not saying that, that's rude. Do forgive me, this is Mum, not me. She's just said, you can take the shoes, right? Because she's just said, you've got to the age now, love, where you don't want shoes that pinch or rub. If they're not comfortable straight from the off, don't bother with them. I can relate to that. Can I just say that she's going now. Your dad is here with her. He's standing in the background. I don't know if he was quite a bit taller than her, but I'm aware that he is a tall man. I mean, everybody's tall to me, but you know, Ray's just laughing. But everybody is tall to me. But I am aware that he is a reasonable height, and it may have been. She used to wear wedged heels, right? Well, it may have been that he was a bit taller than Mum, and that's why I'm feeling the disparity in the height. But he is there, and he was waiting for her. I think that they had the sort of relationship where they were very close, but they used to tease each other, and there was a bit of banter. Yeah, right. Thank you, darling. Yeah. Well, she's little as me. All right then, sweetheart. I'm going to leave you because I do want to try and get round to another one if I can. Right. Okie doke. Right. I feel I'm over there somewhere. I feel I may be with the lady in the white. Hello. Can you wave at me? Lady behind you, Tina.
It's in pink.
Oh, is it pink?
Yeah.
Sorry about
Angelina.
that. Angelina. Oh, Angelina. Right, I feel I'm with you because there's a man suddenly appeared behind you. He looks quite a young man, and I feel that he was a young man when he passed. I don't know if this would have been a brother or an uncle
Brother.
Right, because I'm feeling that type of relationship. And he's standing behind you, and I can't see how tall you are, darling, but he's quite tall. He seems quite tall and slim and very good looking, and that's his words, not mine. He wasn't bad, I have to say. I'll give him that. He was almost as good looking as he thinks he is, but he was, and he's laughing, and he's got the most cheeky smile going. And I feel he was a bit, it was a flirt, but in a nice way. You know, he had charm. Does that make sense? Okay, because he's just saying you're really, really down in the doldrums, and I don't know if you've not had a message recently, or you would like to have there's a particular reason why today or around now, because you're right. Okay, because I'm feeling that at the moment you're very, very down. Okay, and did you say he only died a year ago? Did you say he only died a year ago? Pardon?
He died a year ago. Yeah.
Right, around now, because I'm feeling that. Yeah, well, then that's understandable then. Okay. Was there a bit of an age gap between you? Was he a bit younger than you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm feeling, I didn't feel he'd reached, I mean, he might have been in his 30s or 40s, but he wasn't much older than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Because, but he said, and I feel he liked all the nice things in life. He lived life to the full. I feel he enjoyed his life. Okay, and he was one of those men that was so full of life. Because as I link with him, I can feel it's like I've got that love of life, and I feel he must have been very athletic or sporty when he was younger. I don't know.
I left him quite a long one.
Okay, I mean, it may just have been that he liked to go to the gym or keep himself fit, but definitely he had that feeling of being sort of like full of energy and enjoying life, because I feel it was such a shock when he died, and I feel that he was very well liked, your brother, very well liked. I think his funeral, it must have been, there must have been either a lot of people there. I know a year ago we was having problems, but do you know what I mean? As many as you could get in a place, there would have been. And he's just saying, I never knew that many people like me. But he's lovely, and he wants you to know he's there, because he says he knows how down you are at the moment. I don't say you're living on your own, but you're feeling very alone at the moment. And I have to say, grief is a lonely journey. Even when we're all grieving together as a family, it's still a journey that we have to take alone. It's our own personal journey. You know, don't be frightened of grieving, but then once you've got that year, I'm not saying you'll get over it, because you won't, but you know, you do learn to sort of accept it, and you know, so that you can move on. And he's just said, you know, unfortunately, you know, I had plans, but the big chief upstairs, he had other plans. So, you know, that's the way it goes. He said, it was my time. It was my time, and there was nothing that I could have changed. I don't know how he died, but, you know, sometimes these things happen. And he's just said, you know, he understands the whys and the wherefores. I think he was a bit angry at first, because he really had a good life here. But he said he understands better now. Okay. Has he got a daughter?
Him? Yeah.
Because he's talking about a daughter. I mean, he might have a dozen daughters, I don't know, but it's one particular daughter. And he's saying that I can see her putting flowers. I don't know if it's at his grave or a memory thing, but I can see her putting flowers there, and I feel lost. I feel lost. So I don't know whether there was a very close relationship between them, or whether they'd had an estrangement, because it's like, I feel there's things I should have said that I didn't. Does that make sense? Okay, because he's just saying, but he looks like he's keeping an eye on you all, and he's looking after you all. All right then, my darling, I'm going to leave you and bless you. Have I got time for?
Yeah, if you want to.
Oh
Yeah.
I don't.
I'll finish about now, next 5 minutes.
Okay. Right. I don't know where I'm going here. The cat sat on the mat. I don't know why. I've got somebody quoting from the cat sat on the mat. Is that from Dr. Seuss?
I think so, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
I seem to remember reading it with Ashley once.
Yeah. Anyway,
Last week or something.
for some reason, I've got something to do with Dr. Seuss here. I'm not really, I don't know an awful lot about that, but for some reason, Phil, I'm really drawn to you. I've no idea why, because it sounds bizarre. I'm not suggesting that you've been reading Dr. Seuss lately, but I feel it is something to do with pantomime.
Okay.
Now, and obviously, I know that you're in, you know, that profession. That didn't sound good, did it, when I said that profession? You know what I mean.
Everyone knows he's an old pro.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, well, there you go.
Keep it clean.
Yeah, exactly. It is Sunday morning. I forgot, I've lost my complete thread now. But I do know that you're in the acting, you know, in the, you know, theatrical acting profession, you know, backstage, front stage, and that didn't sound right either, but there you are. Can I just say that it's something to do with work. Now, I can see you writing. I didn't know that you actually wrote things, because I'm not aware of that, but there's a man standing behind you. This isn't a family member. This is, or would have been, a colleague or somebody you would have known at some point, who would have, perhaps you would have known when you were younger, someone that would have encouraged you. Now, obviously, that could be in your spiritual work or your acting profession, but I feel very drawn to your actual acting career. Yes. I'm saying acting because it's broader than that. you know, because he's saying that you used to write at one time. You tried your hand at writing a couple of plays. You made a fair stab of them. I don't know whether they ever got published. But I just get the feeling that you have been, the muse has been, you know, I know that's what I always say, you know, if the muse takes me, I write. I can't sit there to order. And I feel it's like you've been feeling very creative. And they've said, you know, this is a very good period for you. There's something you've always thought of doing. I don't know whether it's writing a panto or doing something, but for some reason it's either farce or panto. Now, why Dr. Seuss should be involved with that, I don't know, but it is a nonsense thing. And you must like nonsense poetry, you know, because I've got Edward Lear, and I'm a big fan of Edward Lear. I love Edward Lear. And one of my favourite poems as a kid was the Sage's Pigtail, you know. But I feel that you appreciate the subtleties, and they're saying that, you know, you can appreciate it, but to write it is quite hard. And they said, you'll never know if you don't try. Okay, so I feel that they're giving you the thumbs up and they're saying, go for it, go for it. So it's something you want to do, and they've just said, please take a chance.
Thanks.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense, yes.
Okay.
I've been writing something recently.
Right, thank you. But you know, you like the bizarre. You love that dark, silly, you know, sly humour, and especially when it's not obvious, you know. And that's the trick, is not trying too hard. And they've said, you know, you're going to surprise yourself. And what he said was, you're going to surprise yourself, mate. And you should know who it is by that. It's someone that was a London, it's definitely a Londoner, because he said, you surprise yourself, mate. Okay. So, you know, he was proud of his London roots. He wasn't our God blimey, you know, sorry about that, Sunday morning. But, you know, he definitely was a London boy. Okay. He didn't say Cockney. He didn't say North, he didn't say South. He said, I was a London boy. It doesn't matter what area you come from. When you know, he said, you should be proud of your roots. Okay. I know you are, but he just said, and I think that this man would have encouraged you to not be frightened to be yourself. I know that a lot is artificial in that world. You know, I have a lot of people I know and see that are in that world and have been in that world. And you know, obviously a lot is placed on the appearance and how you look. But never be frightened to be yourself. Okay? Unless you're playing a part, of course. Yeah, that's different. But anyway, can you know, I will just leave you with, he had a peculiar name, this bloke. I think that he went by, I'm not saying he went by John Smith, but he went by an ordinary name, but I think his middle name was a bit arty. Okay, but I'm trying to see if I can get something. He always wore a ring. No, not a wedding ring. It's like a ring with a stone or something like that. Not a lady's ring, I mean, you know, but like a signet ring with a stone. Makes him sound like a, you know, I was going to say something and I won't, I'll get shot. But definitely, and you know, I think that this man could turn his hand to a few things as well. So when he was resting, as they say, you know, I was going to say he was in ladies' underwear, but that don't sound right either. I am getting myself in hot water this morning, aren't I feel he was in clothing, or he was like a salesman, or he could, you know, he could definitely sell fridges to Eskimos. He had the patter. Okay, but he's just saying, you know, you'll never know if you don't try. And he said you'll be surprised at what you can do. Okay? This is something completely new for you, isn't it? What you're writing.
New, yes.
Okay. Right, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rosie. Thank you very much.
Sorry I didn't get round to more.
It's okay. Done well. I'm just seeing people get me with the camera. Thank you. Thank you, everyone else. Hope you've had a lovely morning today. Friends, I just want to do a few adverts for Spiritual Psychics TV. 8 p.m. tonight is the VIP Mediumship Development with Marcus Lapser. And it's, if you could please mention, you get details will be on the Spiritual Psychics TV lounge page. And on Monday, we've got the brunch at 11 o'clock. And Monday evening at 8 o'clock, Matt and Kirsty are back with us. So much else goes on with Spiritual Psychics TV. We're hoping to come back with the Friendship Club here quite soon. And look forward to all the bits and pieces that are going on throughout the year. You talking about Panto, I had visions of memories of us with the two kids in your Panto that you were part of with the old, was it New Adventure Players or?
Yeah, one of them.
One of them, something like that.
Peters, then they
Yeah.
became a new venture.
But they were great, and there's one of the guys there.
With Rachel changing her costume so she was different
Yes.
to everyone else.
Yes, yeah, that's my daughter. But I was only saying to Jack the other day, because of the COVID, I've not wanted to go to the theatre, but I used to love going to Panto. I really did. I used to really enjoy it.
Especially.
And a very good medium friend of mine, who will be nameless here at the moment, but he worked in the NHS, but he used to do Panto every year, and he was the Panto Dane. And I'd love to have seen those pictures of it. I really would have. So, well, friends, we've come to the end of today. I hope you've enjoyed it. We look forward to seeing you next week. Our medium next week is a young man called Ashley Robinson. I'm not quite sure any of you have seen him before, but he's all right. He's not bad. He'd pass, yeah. And looking forward to that. Friends, looking forward to seeing you. Nice, so many here today. Mark's here for healing today, so see Mark. I'd like you all to try and leave by the front door when you do go. Jackie's bringing the tea and coffees in here. So on behalf of us all, I wish you good morning, and live long and prosper. And ask Rose to close with prayer.
Divine Spirit. Oh, have I got to stand here?
Yeah, well, they hear it in the mic anyway.
Right. Divine Spirit, Father God, we say a thank you for all that has been received this morning. And we ask that your love and blessing remain with each and every one of us and upon each and every home represented. And to those in the virtual world as well, we ask that your love and blessing come down upon all of us. And those of us that are here, have a safe journey home. And for all of us, to be kept safe throughout the coming week. Until we all meet again, amen.
Amen.
It's a bit twisted and mouthful.
Good afternoon to you all. Live long, enjoy your life, enjoy your journey, that unique journey that you're all upon. God bless you all, friends. Bye-bye.